Think sociology helps us understand human behavior by looking at patterns in society, shows how our relationships, social groups, and systems around us shape who we are. Sociology is different from other social sciences like psychology because it focuses on groups and social structures, not just individual behavior. Studying human behavior can be difficult because people don't always act the same way and society is always changing. Even with the challenges, sociologists use tools like surveys, interviews, observations, and data to find patterns in how people act. The American Sociological Association explains that sociological studies society, social structures, and interactions using scientific methods because human behavior is complex. Sociologists use a mix of surveys, interviews, and observations to better understand social patterns. I've known for two different families, even though I was doing the same job, I had very different relationships with each family. Sociology explains how different social groups create different bonds and behaviors. I think the I think that sociology of gender is important because it shows how society defines gender. Gender is not just about biology, it includes how people are expected to act, dress, and behave. These expectations are learned through family, school, media, and friends. By studying gender, sociologists can see how inequality and social expectations are affect people in everyday life. This helps explain why certain opportunities are often given to one gender more than the other. Powell's and other sources explain that gender is created through social interactions and institutions. Society of gender helps us understand how people learn their roles and how these roles shape identity and relationships. I grew up with five brothers. I noticed that my brothers were usually given hard chores like yard work or taking out the trash, while I was always expected to do dishes or clean. This shows how society teaches gender roles to children at such a young age. In society, being a man or a woman goes beyond biological traits. Society creates expectations for how men and women should act. These ideas are learned through family, school, and the media. Being a man or a woman often means performing certain roles that society expects. These expectations can change over time and differ across cultures, which shows that gender is not fixed. The sociology of gender explains that society creates ideas of manhood and womanhood through cultural norms. These ideas are reinforced through everyday life in social institutions. In school, I noticed that boys were often expected to take leadership roles during group projects, while girls were expected to take notes or focus on the neat work. This shows how cultural expectations influence how males and females are treated.